Good morning everyone, and welcome to today's video. We are experiencing another really mild day, and I have some chores to do. I have to fill up my oil lamps. I've been doing that a lot lately. It seems like it's been so dark and dreary and damp, and by 4 o'clock it's so dark in the house that I light the oil lamps. You know, in the last couple weeks, I turned my camera on, and 4 times I started with a heart-to-heart. I'd turn the camera on and say just what I said today. Hi, welcome to today's video. And then I didn't know what to say. Maybe I ran out of words finally after all these years, or maybe there just wasn't anything I felt led to share with all of you. Well, today I do have something to share. And when life throws you curveballs, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, because life is what I always say, a patchwork, a quilt. So it's different patches. Life is not always rainbows and sunshine and the romantic homestead life. Sometimes life is crappy. Sometimes life throws you curveballs when you least expect it. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to wash these globes really quick, and then I'm going to talk to you about what happened to me all within the last 2 weeks. It was something that tested my endurance and tested what my word was going to be for this year, and I continue to keep that word. So my word was this year, and still is, joy, and it's my year to shine. And I had all this in mind, and I thought, well, what possibly could happen? You know, I've been through so much these years. Well, I'm going to tell you what happened in the first 14 days and how we can all be tested in life. You know, we all go through tests in life. The first thing that happened was my computer that I had for many, many years, and that was a computer that I did all of my YouTube videos on. I had thousands of video clips and all kinds of things on it. It crashed. And when I mean it crashed, I couldn't bring it back. It was dead, and nobody could fix it. I said, I am not going to lose my joy. I'm going to keep my joy alive. And through it, I had a really good attitude. It meant years of work that was lost because I kept things on my computer. It meant a lot of things, but I triumphed through that, and I was a trooper. I have another computer because we live debt-free, and we do have a savings. Now, we have an emergency savings, we have a regular savings, and we're debt-free. That was a little bit of a dent on our savings. And then the second week, our daughter had emergency oral surgery. She's never had issues before, but unfortunately, she's the exact age that I was when I started having my problems. And to make a long story short, she has the genetic that I do. It was very traumatic for her. It was a very traumatic experience. And as a mother sitting there and seeing her in such pain and seeing her go through that surgery was very hard. But we triumphed through it. And I said, this is not going to steal my joy. And then they say trouble comes in threes. I assume that's an old wives' tale. But then the bottom fell out, and well, the third thing that happened almost could have stolen my joy. woke up in the morning and there was no water. I'm like, this can't be, this cannot be. And it was. And so I sprang into action and did all the things I know to do when crisis happens, instead of sitting and dwelling on it. And it was a costly bill. It was very costly, but we were able to pay for it because we had our savings. And now we got to save up again. And it takes me a lot of work to come up with this kind of savings. It takes a lot of videos, a lot of work. And I know you're all going to say that you understand, because it's like the minute that you start feeling like you're back on track, all of a sudden something else happens. And the minute that you feel like you got everything going perfect, something happens. And so my heart to heart today is, don't be dismayed and don't be discouraged, because these things happen. And I knew I was being tested, because my word was to be encouraged, to have joy. And I knew this was a direct result to see how I would make the grade. Those of you who are really observant, I have some scripture at the end of some of my videos. And that scripture is really the scripture I'm using for the year 2024. And boy, oh boy, have I been tested. And it's just how life is. It's just, you seem like you make a couple of steps forward and then you make a couple steps back. And I'm really going back to sharing with you exactly my low income life. And I was criticized in the past. I had a little handful of people who want to always criticize me whenever I use words. They said, well, you don't look low income, so you can't be low income. And I thought to myself, well, what does low income look like? Because if I want to know, what does low income look like? Because I see people that have low income in their titles. They have nice houses. They got modern appliances. They got modern house, like their houses look nice, and I have everything that I own pretty much is broken in one way or another. I live in a broken home. I still have a lot of issues in my home, which we are working on, and my appliances are broken, but I keep my place really nice because I take good pride in it. So hard work and having a pride in your home doesn't necessarily say you're not low income. And when I talk about low income, I'm relatable to people, because people can understand. They can see when I turn my stove on and I have to plug it in and plug it out and work around it. They totally get it. They totally understand, because a lot of people who are low income, they have to work around issues with their home and with things. And, money is hard to come by. It's not easy. And, working jobs, even people who work outside of the home, they bring a paycheck home, but with gas and with insurance and with, all the things that they have to pay, they really aren't getting paid a whole lot, even when they work away from home. And it's no different for somebody like me who works at home. I have to pay taxes. I have to pay lots of things. And my income doesn't really show much for it. But this is how I want to live. I want to live this way to a certain extent. If somebody offered me a home that was working order, of course, I would probably accept it. But that's not how life is. I don't play the lottery. So I'm not going to win millions of dollars, and I'm not going to receive millions of dollars. And surely that is not in my cup of tea. That's not going to be happening to me. And I think when we come down to the realization and we accept it, then we can move forward. And while we had to get the new water pump, my husband and I were extremely grateful. And this is something I want to say about my husband. He in the past would become very discouraged. He in the past would become very disheartened by all of the different things that happen. But this year was different. And he said, Tessie, we can be really thankful. It wasn't in the middle of a snowstorm. It is in the dead of winter, but we've been having mild temperatures. It wasn't in a snowstorm. It wasn't where things were freezing up. And, it wasn't over the time when the virus was, when things were hard to, get equipment. And I washed my clothing with the rain barrel, and I showed you all how to do that. It was a lot of work. I went to bed at 6:30. We both did. We were so tired. The older we get, stress plays different, You're more tired physically and mentally. But I think your perception on life and your attitude towards life can make a whole big difference about things that happen. And my daughter's healing, and she says she'll never go through that again, and I pray she never has to. And I have a computer now. I'm learning how to use it, and I have to start over from scratch pretty much. And we have water. It's muddy because we have a new pump in, and of course it's really muddy right now till the water settles. But we have all these things, and that's what I want to continue, is to share with you positivity and a grateful heart. And a grateful heart sometimes can challenge us. It's easy to say you're grateful when the world is at your fingertips and everything is happening just how you want it to. It's easy to be thankful then. But what is it like when things are hard? Pep talk. When you were in high school, they would have the pep rallies, like, go, 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 you can do it, before the football games. Well, this is my pep talk for the year 2024. And I am not perfect. I'll let you know, I do become discouraged. I do have life stresses, but I am learning to be thankful. When I see what other people, how they have to live, I realize that my life is really good. And that is what I want to do. I want to show low income and abundant living, and I want to show a different spin on things. And I want people to feel that they have dignity. I want people, it just depends on your area. Some areas where people live, they say, well, everybody lives like them. It just depends on your outlook on life, where you've come from, where you're going, where where you live. And there's a group of people like me who weren't low income. See, I wasn't born into low income. That's not what I've known all my life. I've known middle to high income. And there's getting more and more people in the world we're living now that are like me, who were not ever low income when they were growing up, but they find themselves in that now. And that is the difference in the categories. There's so many different categories of low income. There are the housing projects where people were born and raised into low income. Well, for that, I may not, even I would look low income to them because of the different situations I had in my life with the plumbing and stuff. But then you have people that grew up in $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 houses and had the big checks in the mail coming, and they had grown up with that, and then they become like me, where all of a sudden they are thrown into situations that really are not entirely their fault. And that's where I'm at. And I feel a calling, and I feel that this is where I need to be, and I need to share this with everyone. And we all have hopes and dreams. I like this lifestyle, but it is hard. It is very, very, very hard when you finally scrounge up money to save in your savings, and then this happens and that happens and everything happens. But then you look at people in other countries who they end up without any running water because they can't get a new pump because they, so that's where I'm at. And I hope you just listen to my rambling, and my heart to hearts won't be every week. I only share when I have something really I feel like I need to share. And I'll be honest with you, I hope I don't have anything like this I have to share anymore. I'm hoping that the 2024 won't be any more expenses and everything will just go smoothly. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow. It's getting really cold out here. Bye.